All right, so this is another episode of the Uncivilized Art Podcast, Geek and Internet Culture Podcast, and today my guest is Celeste Orchid. I almost made that rhyme entirely,
Oh
almost,
my gosh.
almost. um, but yeah, Celeste Orchid, how you doing today, Miss Celeste Orchid? How you been? How you
Hi.
doing? For the people
I'm
who don't
doing
know,
good.
tell
Thank
them
you
who you
so
is.
Hi. Thank you so much for having me on. I'm doing pretty well. I'm awesome. I'm a cosplayer. I've been cosplaying since 2005, making my own costumes from almost scratch at this point. There are some things that I just better made, and then there are some things that I just better bought and then throw your cosplay together. I'm a new mother. I just gave birth to a little boy. I live in Denmark. I'm American, but I'm Filipino, so Filipino American. Woohoo! And yeah, that's about it that I could say that I know
Yeah.
of.
Yeah. No, that's yeah. That covers I
I
think.
think I think that's about a lot of
Yeah.
things, but I mean, there's
It's a
other
big
things you
thing.
want me to tell you about.
So yeah, you just mentioned something I do want to talk about because the last time I saw you, I think it was June when you was in London or around about then,
It was June.
and yeah, and since then, as you mentioned, you've lost some weight. About 7 or 8 pounds, I think.
Oh my gosh!
So
Only.
yeah. So
Yeah.
how's that though? Because like, I mean, I mean, I'd have to assume because I ain't got no damn kids myself. But that's a big life change, right?
Oh my God, having a kid totally changed my life. It wasn't the fact of like, okay, your body's going to go through modifications and then, it's just going to go back like a balloon. So it wasn't just that. It was more like, yeah, now I have this human that came out of my body. I have like these different body modifications that are happening internally by my molecular structure just saying, hey, this is what happens to your body. And then going harder on the like sleep thing because sleep is just not really easy to get and just trying to figure out what do you need, baby. And it's funny because I don't really use my son's name. So like, Mario is his nickname and I'm just like, baby, I'm here, like stop crying. Like I'm trying to burp him and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like
Okay.
you have a name but I'm not using it, I'm just calling you baby.
Wait. So you said Mario's a nickname?
Yeah, Mario is the
Okay.
nickname.
You don't
His
have to say his real name here. I get
Oh,
that's
I'll say
fine.
it.
But
I love saying it, but at the same time, I don't call him that. So it's like I'm very proud of his name because it's a generational name. So his
okay.
full name is Mariano Aurelius Floro the Fifth.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah,
Because
so
I was
he's got
thinking
like
like
a
if you call him Mario, then maybe he's gonna get confused about what his real name is. But I guess Mario's just like a shortened version of his name. Okay.
oh, absolutely. Just take out
Oh,
two
gotcha,
letters.
gotcha.
Ta-da! That's still his name. It's not like this whole like, oh yes, your name is Sunshine, and it's like, yeah, but your real name's Fred. It's like, where did you get Sunshine from? And just like, no, yeah, it's still his real name, just taking out a few letters, and there's quite a few Marianos in our family because he's the fifth one, so they all get special nicknames.
How cool would it be if he grew up to be a plumber?
I
That would
don't
be pretty
know.
cool, right?
I don't know. I mean, it'd be pretty cool if he like creates his own theme park and around plumbing. I don't know. Like that'd be pretty fun, right?
I'm just saying, like he
I don't
could
know.
get a cap, put the M on it, right? A red
Oh,
cap, of course.
I have the Cappy cap
Also, he's on
from
on his way
Odyssey.
then.
Yeah, like it's there. Like I already have like Mario clothes for him to have because me being a tiny woman, uh, I fit the kids size section, not all the time, but I have like this really cool Mario Kart like jacket.
Mm.
And I just like I can't wait to see my son wearing it. And if he doesn't want to wear it, I'm like, just humor your mom, please. I'll get you ice cream if you just put it on.
You
But like he's still a newborn, so it's gonna be a little bit of time. But I wanna put the cappy cap on him and just be like, look at him. He's out there slaying Goombas.
do you plan on having another son? Call him Luigi.
Oh my God, I hope to God I get a son. So like after giving birth, I thought I would never do it again because that shit's painful. and stuff. We'll go into that. But if I have a second son, I've been trying to figure out ways to make his nickname Luigi without it being too obvious. So, like, my first son's name is Mariano, and it's not like so like, oh, he's definitely like Mario, like Super Mario. But like, if my second son, I was thinking Luciano Giovanni Floro, and like that's a very freaking mafia boss sounding name.
Yeah, for sure.
But his nickname's
could go
Luigi.
Either way, right? Luigi, right? Yeah.
Like if he wants to run if he wants to be a CEO and run it to the ground, like that's his choice. Or if he wants to be like a plumber, like his brother Mario, that's his choice too. Like,
I mean, to be honest, Mario and Luigi could be gangster brothers. So still, that could happen.
You know, they're killing the citizens of the Mushroom Kingdom like constantly. They are extremely gangster. Like, I mean, it's like, hold on, let me just pop a cap on this Koopa over here today.
I think it was. Yeah, The Godfather was written by a guy called Mario Paluzzi? No, Mario something. So yeah.
Well, that's more than I know. I haven't even seen The Godfather. Like, I feel really bad about that, but I'm sorry. If it's not video game kind of related, I don't want to watch it.
It was a pretty good movie. Well,
I mean, it's a classic.
The third one is hit and miss. It's like the third one I say is better than most people give it credit for, but it's not exactly what I'd call a good movie either. So.
Oh, it's okay. But yes, I haven't seen it, but it's just like it's fine. Fine. I have other things I need to watch, like the new like Mario movie coming out next year, and I'm just like, I better find a babysitter to see that. Like, yeah, I'm not sure how that's going, but I do hope to have a little boy. If I have another boy, because I do think I can go through pregnancy one more time before I'm like, okay, I don't want to do this anymore. Let's go to the next thing. Come on. Like, wrap it up. Anyways, if we do have a little girl, my husband wanted to name her Estella. And originally, I liked the name Isabella. And I'm like, you know what? I named our first son. He did come out of me. And I don't hate the name Estella because it means star. And I'm like, it's kind of like Celeste. And then I'm like, oh, we have to name her Estella because she's the star in Mario.
Oh, yeah.
It's not because like we're really hardcore
But then
Mario
your son would be
gamers.
jumping on her all the time, though.
Yeah, so I'm not just like I'm not trying to like make it super video game themed because like we learned the name Estella from the movie Cruella with Emma Stone, so it's just like, well, that's just a happy coincidence. But I'm just like, well, the middle name we haven't figured out, so it's Estella Floro. But I had a joke that her middle name could be Anna May.
Anna May. Oh, of course, dude. You're right. Yeah. Of course.
Isn't that hilarious? So Estella Anime Floro, and I'm like, that's not nice. I won't do that. I'm not gonna make it.
That's pretty cool, though.
It is, isn't it? Like, if I accidentally have twins, I'm like, I absolutely have to have someone be like Anna May. Like,
yeah. And like, one day if she's an auntie, she's Aunt May, kind of.
Oh. I mean, you could technically do that because, like, in Filipino culture, you always have like a nickname for someone or somehow. So it's just like you have someone like Bing Bong, Honey Boy, like Chewy. Like you have all these funny little names because that's just Filipino culture. So, yeah. You could have her, like, one of them is using your middle name, but I feel like that's common for anyone in the world to use their middle name as opposed to their, like, given name. So, yeah. My brother tried doing that. I'm like, so you're going to be Uncle Willie. His middle name's William, and he's like, I'll be Uncle Will. I'm like, no, you won't. You'll be Uncle Willie.
Uncle Willie.
That's not nice.
That maybe, yeah.
Not very friendly. It's okay.
All right. So yeah, you so with cosplaying, you've been doing that for a long time. And now that you're a mommy, I know you're still doing a cosplay, but I guess it's changed how you do it, right? In terms of how much you can do and that sort of thing. And what would you say like the biggest change for you in cosplay has been?
Well, I don't know. Like, when I do a lot of cosplay, I usually feel like a very big kind of like sex symbol sometimes, depending on who I cosplay as. Because, like, I did Emma Frost from the X-Men comics, and I think she's a very powerful, sexy woman. But after becoming a mother, I'm like, oh, should I be doing that? Is that like norm? Is that an okay idea? And I'm like, I don't really see myself as a sexy woman anymore. And it's kind of like disappointing in that factor of like, yeah, oh, I felt so empowered. I felt sexy. I felt really like majestic while wearing a cosplay. But now being a mother, it's like, oh, this is so weird. I can't even imagine like just being like, wow, that chick's hot. Oh my God. Now I'm just like, how much milk does she have in her boobs? Like that's where I'm at. As opposed to like, wow, I'm gonna feel hot or something. And some of it has changed in the essence of, oh my God, can I cosplay this with my son? Or can I cosplay this with my husband and my son? And that's been a whole journey in itself because he's grown so much. And I'm like, I can't really do a baby cosplay with him because he'll grow so fast. I don't know like how long it's sustainable to make an outfit for him. It's not like he can go back and wear it, whereas me and daddy can. So I don't want to like throw away like valuable materials and be like, oh yeah, here's an outfit, and then it's like, okay, well I can't use it anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's a big thing to consider because they are at that age where, like you said, they've grown a lot. So, and I guess the time it takes to make an outfit and when it's done, and then by the time you're ready to wear it, it's maybe he's already too big for it. So,
oh my God, right?
Yeah.
So I wanted to do like a whole slew of videos on my YouTube channel crafting baby costumes. And I'm just like, I have to be able to make it in a day, shoot it that day. And then editing's a whole different thing. But I'm just like, he's going to grow out of it because some of his clothes that we bought him are just not fitting like this way that they used to. Like they used to be baggy, they used to fit him perfectly. And now they're like getting tight. And I'm like, oh, you're growing. That's a thing, huh?
Yeah. They don't.
They don't do it all at once like I did. Like when I was 12 to 14, I finally started growing height and then I stopped. So I'm like, oh, I guess I don't grow anymore. Always going to be stuck at 152 centimeters or 5'2".
Your husband is quite tall, I think, right? What's 5'11", 6 foot?
He's not 6, but he's like 5'10", 5'11". He's around that height. Because my older brother is taller than him. So he's like 6'2"-ish, my older brother, if he doesn't slouch.
So your son could be taller than you maybe by the time he's like 8 or 9 or something.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I have no problem if he's gonna be taller than me. I'll just have to make sure that he can reach like the graham crackers at the top shelf. I'll just be like, hey,
Yeah. Get up and move it, yeah. Yeah.
It's like, yeah, mommy, I got you. It's like, thanks, son. It's like, oh, so is that your like sister or something? It's like, no, that's my mom. I'm like, oh my God. That'll be so weird, just having that one day because my son's taller than me. It's like, oh, who's that? And it's like, oh yeah, is that your older sister? No, that's my mom.
Yeah.
That'd be so weird. Especially since like I still want to color my hair and stuff. So, I wonder how.
Yeah, I think I started getting taller than my dad. I can't remember exactly what age, but I reckon it was around about maybe 11, 12, well, maybe about the same height, and maybe about 13. I think I was definitely taller than him,
What the heck?
And
Beanstalks?
Yeah. And just remember, like, it's definitely like a thing. I don't know if other people feel this as well, but it's definitely like a thing in your life where you realize that I'm taller than my dad, especially when you start to get significantly taller as well. And it's like, you can't tell me off anymore.
Were you like looking down at him? Jeez.
Yeah, it's like, you can't tell me what to do anymore. I mean, they can, it's your dad.
They can, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's not going to change. But yeah, nope. I will always have to look upwards to everyone. I'm a tiny woman. So anyone who's like, oh yeah, you're the perfect anime waifu, I'm like, you're not wrong, but you're also forgetting that one important part about dating a cosplayer, for all you listening, we are expensive. You think going to a convention's cheap? You think going to like the fabric store and wig stuff and makeup stuff is cheap? dating a cosplayer is not the easiest thing, and they are expensive.
Well, speaking of cosplayer and money, maybe not so much the dating bit, but possibly. But
Okay, we'll
so
work it in somehow.
but yeah, so you have been cosplaying for a long time, and going to conventions and things like that. And I think the last time we spoke, it was like sort of it would have been last year. So we it was like sort of during the. Well, I guess technically we are still in the pandemic,
Yeah,
but
we're still in the
we're more
pandemic. Like
in
the
it
USA is
then.
still in full force with
Yeah,
COVID, unfortunately.
but now I guess we are, although we're in it, we're it's almost kind of in our rear view as our places are more open, things are almost like it was before.
Almost.
So almost. So for yourself, is like going from before that to during that and after that, like what's was that journey been like for you for
So
cosplay
for
conventions and things?
so for me, it changed so drastically in the sense of like I don't have a way to promote myself in person anymore. I don't have a way just to be like, oh yeah, check me out on YouTube or check out my Instagram handle.
Mm,
And you can see more of my costume work there. And it kind of like really showed the transition of like, this was such a social aspect and how privileged we were to have these meetings. And now that we don't have these meetings, and it's just
mm,
like, oh shit, now what are we gonna do? Actually work on our costumes? Like what the hell? So it was kind of heartbreaking in the sense of like some people that was like their vacation time to go see their friends or go to the big event once a year, like MCM London Comic Con, that kind of thing. And it's just like that's like their big hurrah or their Disneyland. And since that was gone, it's like now what? And the huge shift came into like social media, which also brought in a lot of like
mm,
negative kind of things. Cause like then it forced a lot of people just to be content creators, constantly creating content, flooding it with content. And that like really changed the cosplay community because some of the people were just like, oh, I followed you on this page. I'm going to do that too. And they don't really get the crafting aspect of it. I'm not saying like that's bad that you don't know how to craft your cosplay, but for those who are crafters and they see these people like just like not getting view not the view part, but just like you don't get what we had at a convention and why we did it. And it kind of is unfortunate in that aspect that you lose that community sense. You're very solo at it. So it's more on based on the individuality. And like for me, if I wanted to go back to the USA, that was like a no go. And before like the pandemic, it was like, yeah, okay, like I'll just come back for like this, and this. And then it became no, it's never like everything just shut down. And so it's just like, oh, I guess there's no more Disneyland either. And that
mm.
happened. So it was just really heartbreaking. And then a lot new people came in because of the social media aspect of how cosplayers just flooded that. And I feel like a lot of the community, which I'm not the voice of the community, but I feel for personally, allegedly, I feel like the community has lost a lot of its core because we all grew up, well, the starting cosplayers grew up making our costumes, having to struggle with wigs and getting good materials. And now you can buy a cheap costume for less than making the costume, which was not true back in the day because it's just so different now how commercially available everything is. It's like, what's that? You need a cosplay for your TikTok, cheap and easy. Like, what is it? Like $20 sometimes, or like $50, and it's like not really sustainable, and it's just very unfortunate in my opinion. So, yeah, there's that rant.
That's it. So is there's more people doing it sort of during and post pandemic in cosplaying?
Yeah, absolutely. Post pandemic, like I think that there's still a lot of people that are joining cosplay because they found Twitch streamers promoting it, and they're like, oh, someone told me in my chat to cosplay, so I'm gonna do it now. But it's like you didn't find it from conventions; you found it because you had nothing else to do, so you streamed. I'm not saying that that's the way it works for everyone, okay? So
Sure.
just just backtracking into saying like it's not a bad thing if you find cosplay. It's great. It's wonderful. Spend your money on it. Like just be sustainable sometime. Like somewhere because it's expensive. But
Well,
like some people just do it for the clout, and to me that's kind of disappointing because when I started in 2005, it's like such a loving like community of like, oh my god, I know that person, that person, that person. I knew like the entire area of people who were cosplaying where I lived, and I was like, oh my god, tell me how you did this. Like your outfit's so cool. What is that? And we don't really have that communal sense anymore. It's just gotten so big, and then you only have like the mega names out there that are like promoting like their techniques. And I feel like if you're a smaller creator, it's harder for you to give your voice to help people. And yeah, I feel like a lot of cosplay is just like clout and like, oh yeah, like let me see if I can get more likes kind of thing.
yeah, I guess with a lot of things, there's always going to be some kind of evolution in how it gets done, and internet being what it is. Yeah, I guess it had to come in somehow. So I guess the more modern cosplayer is, like you say, finding it through social media, and that becomes maybe their outlet rather than going more to the conventions.
Right.
And
Because like if you have someone that's like super super like TikTok heavy that doesn't really make their outfits, and they're like, oh yeah, I want to go to this convention as a guest. It's like, but what can you really offer? Like, does anyone actually know you in our area? Like, does anyone know what your skills are? Like, are you good at makeup? Or like, are you good at wig stuff? And I've seen so many posts on cosplay groups where they're like, oh yeah, I'm trying to make a media packet so I can become a guest at an event. And I'm like, who are you? Like what do you bring in? And this was a big problem that I had pre-pandemic when I was uh, the masquerade coordinator, like the cosplay competition coordinator for a small event in Los Angeles. And he's like, I want to bring this guest on. And sure enough, it was one of those social media girls who was like very pretty, very big tits out, like nothing wrong with that. That's great. But you have to think, are they going to sell you tickets? Are they providing entertainment for your fans? Like, are they just there to show up and sell things? Like, you have to have some kind of content behind them and reasoning why you're promoting them as a guest. And it's like some of these events, they pay you as a guest. And it's like, okay, it's nice that you have like 50,000 followers on Instagram, but what do you do? Have you won an award? Like, if you won an award, then we can use you as a masquerade judge. And as someone who's won well over 20 awards in my time of cosplaying, like back in the day, not
big
current,
flex.
okay? Like back in the day, like before all this awesome crazy shit of resin and like resin printing and all this other shit, like it's cool. It's like at least I have those credentials. You can't take away my wins. Like those are there. Like you can't take away my wins if I was like cheating. So there's that. But I didn't cheat. So but it's just kind of like pre-pandemic. It's like, oh yeah, you know, what are they gonna do? Like this. And I'm like, dude, you don't have to have a YouTube channel, but at least tell me like you sewed this costume. It's like, no, I bought it off of like Wish. I'm like, but like, can you tell me, like, can you run a panel on being more budget friendly for cosplay if you wanted to get started in it? And they don't really even advertise that. So like the new influx of like post-pandemic cosplayers trying to be guests, I'm just kind of like, do you know what the fuck you do like in cosplay? Like, do you know anything about cosplay? Can you even give like a history of cosplay? Like there, it's like, it's not just like, oh, let me just go be a guest and look pretty and take pictures with people like I'm Julia Roberts. It's like, no, you ain't Julia Roberts, bitch, because she still has her Academy Awards, whatever awards she's got, and acting. So, like, you ain't got no movies. Like, maybe, I don't know. I'm just going on this huge tangent of, like, post-pandemic people trying to be cosplay guests without, like, credentials. I'm like,
good.
look,
I guess there was a few things you had to let out. It's all good.
no, it's not bad. It's just being real. Like, Like
No, for
you're not
sure.
good.
You got to be honest about what the situation is, isn't it? And I think
Yeah,
from what
exactly.
you just said, I guess what's happened or what could potentially happen is you have a lot of people coming in from because they see it through social media, which is great that they found cosplay. But
Yeah,
then the other problem is that if they're not making their own costumes and just kind of buying it and then presenting it online, people watching them thinking they're awesome costume makers, when the reality is they just bought it somewhere, so they get all these followers, all this kind of recognition. They go to a convention or any kind of an event,
yeah,
and it's like, what exactly can you talk about? I think, yeah, that makes sense to me. You know, if your popularity has come from a medium, cool, yes, great, fantastic, so it elevates the culture overall.
right.
But as an individual, what is it that you're doing? Is it just okay? We're just going to buy costumes and parade them? Because then, what's the difference between cosplaying and modeling? You know?
Yeah, exactly. Like there's a few other things too, because like say that you just buy a costume because you like how it looks. There's nothing wrong with that, a
Mm,
1000%. Because there are times when I don't fucking know the character and I'm just like, I just want to wear this outfit.
mm,
But if you go to a convention and someone's like, oh my god, you're a fan of like XYZ, like Cyber Clay, like Cyber Angel Knights 55. That's not a real thing, by the way. I'm
but
just
yeah,
throwing something out there. And it's just like if you can't really talk back to someone, I think you lose a little bit of like the fandom. And it's like, yeah, it's cool that maybe you like the outfit, but if you also just think that person's a creep, that also isn't cool. But what I'm trying to get at is like part of cosplaying comes from appreciating like the series or the show or the game. I mean, I
mm,
so like if you just buy a costume just to have a costume, I think it's kind of like heartbreaking in an essence. Like I do cosplay things that I don't like actually know all the facts about, but I try to not do that like all the time. I like to
mm,
research my characters just a little bit, kind of like acting. I'm not
yeah,
saying everyone has to be an actor in their cosplay, but
sure.
it's just nice if you have like someone ask for your picture. You're not just gonna do the stereotypical like, here's me, yay
Mm,
victory. I'm some cute anime chick today. That's me. It's like people really enjoy it if when they ask you for your photo and you actually do the pose of like Sailor Moon, you know, the actual like pose.
mm,
It's not instead of like, this is me, just wearing this costume. I don't know
yeah.
what the fuck I'm doing. Want me to
Just,
do a TikTok
just
dance?
here. Yeah. Was it the Renegade or?
Yeah. But not trying to shit on other people. I'm just saying like it's a thing, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. No, I think I understand that. I think other fandoms have seen kind of similar things. So I think I understand where that comes from, and you know, like I say, it's just, at the end of the day, it's sometimes the truth is, well, it's the truth. You know, it's not always pretty, but it is the truth, and it can be. So I feel like something like that could. I mean, I guess there's a little bit doom and gloom, but there's always that potential that, you know, in the future, say 5, 10 years from now, conventions for cosplaying are predominantly people who don't actually know much about cosplay, and it just becomes this thing where, you know, you go to, maybe you pose with somebody and that's about it. There's no real kind of interaction because nobody really knows about the characters or the craft or the costume or what goes behind it, why this particular character might have something on their shoulder, whatever it is, and it's just okay, pose and it looks cool, but then that's about it.
Yeah.
And sure, there's a value to that, no doubt, but at the same time, a big part of, like I said, what cosplay is and how it came about and the essence of the whole culture just goes away, or potentially could go away.
Yeah, it's I mean, I don't feel like the whole culture would go away because there's so many people still crafting and there are groups out there where they promote like helping people. But I feel like the influx of more people just buying it like is just so there. Especially with the prices of like everything soaring higher and
Mm.
higher. Like electricity is getting higher, so it's like, oh, you probably shouldn't run that resin printer today, or oh,
Yeah.
like getting that foam is kind of expensive because you have to pay for extra shipping now. Like it's just a little harder. So if you just buy a pre-made costume, it's worth the cheap, quick, and then you can fix it.
To be honest, I doubt people like that will last. And granted, I'm no cosplay expert, but just just a few things in terms of like if people are just kind of coming into it because there's this quick, easy way you can do it, and that's relatively cheap. I feel like the type of person who's doing that, getting a clout real quick, they're typically the type of people that don't have longevity,
Oh yeah.
because it is a lot more to it than just stand still, look pretty, and generic poses, right? And eventually, no matter which route you take to get into it, at some point, a lot of work is going to come to you. And if you're the type of person who's always looking for quick and easy, when you get to that point where the work starts coming, it's time to bow out. So I feel like people like that. I mean, yeah, maybe now there's a lot of them, probably because of the pandemic, and people are looking for ways they can make money or get different exposure and this and the other. And part of
Hmm.
that is maybe looking into cosplay and amongst other things. But then eventually, I think these things tend to have a way of healing themselves. Kind of balancing themselves
Yeah,
out.
exactly. And I think that's something that's really important too, because you said making money through cosplay. One of the biggest things from cosplay is like doing or making the props or making the costumes for like said events like Gamescom and such, or like back in the day E3, because E3 doesn't really exist anymore. But
Well,
like they actually do hire a lot of fabricating cosplayer people to make the props that go at like the big booths. And it's just like, yeah, these people have their livelihood. And if you're one of the cosplayers that are like, oh yeah, I just stand there and look pretty, it's like, but you're missing out on like the money part of that. So you're just essentially trying to sell as a model, but that's not even an easy route either, because
yeah.
the people at the company or like the game company or anime company, they could actually just hire someone that made their costume, or they can hire an actual model with like a comp card and like have the specifications that they want.
Yeah. Also, I think another thing to consider as well is that if you are buying a costume, I mean, if you're buying it and you're just having fun with it, cool, whatever. But if you are
Yeah.
buying it in terms of trying to be in, say, the cosplay world, what happens if, I don't know, 50, 100, 2,000 other people all bought that same costume?
Oh yeah, a
you
thousand
know,
percent. Like you ain't the only one. Like you
especially if it's
do
something
not
popular.
own the rights to the characters either. So it's just like you can't stop someone else from cosplaying it. So that's why it's created this race of uh how fast can I be the first person to cosplay as this. So it's kind of crazy. Actually, speaking of that, really quickly, it's minor little like
No, go
flex
for it.
here. I was the first person to do Catwoman's wedding dress, and I got re-shouted out by the
Catwoman. I might have to look that up. Catwoman's wedding
Tom
dress.
King. I was re-shouted out by Tom King and the artist who did the wedding dress. I can't think of her name right now because I just it's been a hot minute, but yeah, I was like the first person who did it, and I was like, yeah, and I was featured on a few things.
Catwoman. I'm
Did
gonna
you
look
not
that up
see
real
it?
quick.
Oh my god, I'm so
Wedding
heartbroken. Here,
dress.
I'll send it to you on Twitter really quick.
Which that's not from a movie, is it?
No, it's from the comics.
Oh, okay. That's probably why I didn't see
Yeah,
it then.
it's a black and white. It's a black and white wedding dress, and when I saw it, I was like, "Oh
Okay.
my god, I have to have that."
Cool. I see that. Oh, yeah, you cosplay as this. Okay.
Yes, it is
Okay.
one
Cool.
of.
Cool.
It is a freaking masterpiece. I
It does look
love it.
nice.
Yeah, so I was the first one who did it, and they re-shouted me out, and I'm like, to all you other girls out there wearing it, you look fabulous too. Like, I love seeing that outfit, and I'm like, anyone else who has it, like, fuck yeah. Can I cuss?
Oh, go for
Whoops,
it.
I
Go
totally
for it.
forgot to ask that before we started filming.
You know what? One of the things
Whoopsies.
I want to try and do with this podcast is just when when having guests on is just have people express themselves, and if you express yourself, whether that's swearing or whatever, it's all good with me. And in the day, I feel like I'm not trying to censor people, or you can't say that, and or you have to beep this word out, or you have to say this word instead of that word because of the YouTube algorithm. They're like, no, just speak how you speak. It's all good.
Yeah.
You know, it's
But yeah.
all results.
Yes, fine.
So
Okay,
we're
see, I'm the third fourth image when you search Catwoman wedding dress cosplay.
Let me search that actually real quick before I ask you the
Yeah,
next
yeah.
question.
So if you hold on, I'm sorry.
Wedding dress cosplay. So I just searched for the.
Wait, no, yeah, I'm the first one actually. So I'm sitting there holding the little thing like this, with my arm in the back, and it's from
Your
Reddit.
is it Reddit?
Yeah,
Oh wait,
do
I
you
think
see
I see
it?
it. I think I
Do you
see
see
it.
it?
I think I see it.
Can I screen share? Does it
Yeah,
have to do
I
with?
got it. I got it. I
Okay.
got it. Let me
You
try to
find
enlarge
me?
it.
See,
Yeah,
that's why I'm the
I got
shit.
it. I got it.
Yeah, that's
There we go.
me.
Yeah, I might be. Can I get in focus?
Yes,
There we go.
yes, that's me. I'm so proud of that outfit.
That's really cool, actually.
Yeah.
That is awesome. You made this. How long did
Yes,
that take
from
you to make?
scratch. So I speed ran that one. I think it took me a week and a half, I want to say.
Wow.
Yeah. But I
You
love that
still have it?
outfit. Yes, I do. I can fit it too. It's such a nice outfit.
Would you?
Like
I mean, because you got married to the same dudes twice, right? So if you had to get a third wedding, would you wear that dress?
so originally I was supposed to wear this at my France wedding, but then my husband bought me a really nice silver lace fabric, and I was like, there's no way in hell I'm not using this for my wedding. So I put that one off on hold. But I would like to use that, honestly. But I've worn it like 3 times, so I'm like, no.
Okay.
But it's a great dress. Like no one would know. So if I need to go to an opera, I'll fucking wear that. Like yes,
Oh, you
absolutely.
could definitely wear it to like an opera or some kind
Yeah,
of fancy
exactly.
thing like that. You know, like what do they call it? Ball? Is that what they call it? Ball?
Yeah, balls.
Yeah, a ball.
Yeah, like
You know,
show me the
where they
balls.
wear gloves and they have
Yes,
like
like a nice
the
evening.
masks and they say,
Yeah,
"How
those
do you
are
do,
masquerades.
darling?" Yeah.
But yeah,
And how
I
do
totally
you
would wear.
do? I think that's how I speak of those things. How do you do?
I usually speak
I do
normal.
you.
Like,
Oh, Mr. Darcy.
oh
How's
yes.
the gardening?
Are you really going into this Bridgerton kind of experience right now?
I mean, I see stuff on TV. It's about
I
what I
mean,
can remember.
I want to go to the Bridgerton experience, but I don't have the capacity to go with the baby. But
Well,
yeah.
maybe,
Anyway,
yeah. Well, yeah. We have to a baby friendly version.
oh yeah, just little crumpets at home with the tea, and Mr. Darcy will have to be the bulldog.
So, like, now that you are a new mother, I guess that means every sentence has to start with, as a mother, right?
Oh, probably.
now
As
that,
the caretaker of a newborn, as the procurer of the baby.
so how do you balance everything? Because I mean, Twitch, YouTube, cosplaying, being a mother, plus two dogs, plus
Can you
married
hear them?
life,
Can
What?
you hear my dog snoring?
I think I can.
Hush.
Yeah, I think I can. Yeah, yeah, definitely.
That's
Yeah.
Bulldog. That's Bowsy. Oh, for those on the podcast listening, thank you so much for listening this far into it. I hope I haven't been too boring. I have two bulldogs. One is not to cut off Bandit. Sorry.
No,
I
go for
have
it.
an English bulldog and I have an old English bulldog. And the old English bulldog, her name is Peach, and the English bulldog, his name is Bowser. Now, my son being Mariano with the nickname Mario was not intentional to have a very full house of the Mushroom Kingdom cast, but my husband always wanted a male dog and he wanted it to be named Bowser, and that just so happened that he wanted a bulldog named Bowser. And he's always wanted to feed it a cheeseburger, so we made that dream come true. And that's how we started our little Mushroom Kingdom family. Okay, I'm sorry. That was totally not answering your question.
So, it's still useful information, so it's okay.
Okay, cool. So how do I balance that? Yeah. So I kind of preemptively like filmed everything that I could before the baby came out. So right now, with the YouTube algorithm really pushing shorts, I'm slightly shifting a little bit of my channel just to see what can happen. So I've been focusing on DIY ASMR shorts right now, just to see like how is this going to affect me. It's not cosplay per se, but I do focus on a lot of other things at the moment because I'm just like, what's going on with YouTube? They're not pushing cosplay content. They're not pushing regular video content. And it's just like, okay, what do you want? Do you want this? Do you want this? And so I'm really redoing a lot of that. Twitch has been on hold, unfortunately, because I've seen so many creators on Twitch just jump off and they're just like, it's not worth it for me to do this anymore. And I'm like, why? And they made a very valid point of like staying 8 hours in front of the screen, just dedicating it to potentially entertaining people. There's other ways that I can entertain without having to be 8 hours in front of a screen, like buried into that. And I'm like, that's a very true statement and disappointing statement because I think of like so many people who are great at Twitch, like they're just there in front of their computer or like a slave to that kind of grind, quote unquote. I mean, so is YouTube, but I love doing YouTube. I actually really enjoy making my content, and it's not like I'm stressed. Like the only time I get stressed is when it's a Halloween, and like Halloween, I'm not stressed. I have like almost a video every day for October, so not a problem. I have a video every day for November, a video every day for the rest of September. So right now in 2022. After that, I just want to go back and understand the metrics. So that's how I'm balancing that because it's already pre-recorded. I do have things that I'm editing to be released. I'm very fortunate to have like my husband to help me with things like watching the baby because that's what he's doing right now, so that I can have fun and do the podcast with Bandit. Woo! So
Yeah, shout
yeah,
out to the husband.
yes, my wonderful husband. I would definitely not be where I am today without his support and all of his love and hard work going into my hard work and everything that I'm trying to do. And it's just such a different kind of like grind and such. But I'm very fortunate, and I love him so much, and I'm very lucky. Oh, sorry for all those who were just like, oh wow, tuning into Bandits like podcast, and he's like,
Hey.
and like, wow, she's single, like, yeah, she's a single mother. What's up, MILF? And I'm like, no, I'm sorry, I've been married. So what? Was that too much?
No, it's fine. It's just no. Yeah, you probably did disappoint a few people, but
Oh,
oh well.
well.
Oh well.
Should I put on a really nasty voice now just to counteract it? Sorry.
Somebody might have been watching like, hey, she's hot. I wonder.
Oh.
I wonder if she's single. She's in Denmark. I'm in Denmark. Oh well. Nice.
I mean, I have
Happy
an
marriage.
OnlyFans if you want that. Like, I don't really post to it because I don't have time to do that. But if you want some old content, there you go.
Some old content on the OnlyFans, all right.
Yeah, sure. I don't really have time for that. But it's like there's so many content platforms that you could be on because like I got invited to be on Cameo. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram, Facebook. Like that's four, including YouTube and Twitch and TikTok. Like stop making content platforms. Like fucking make it easy. And it's just like we don't need 7. Well, actually, technically, most people will be at 6 because you have to be invited to be on Cameo. And then of course there's freaking OnlyFans, so that's 8 for me. So yeah, like it's not easy
Yeah.
to juggle, but
It's definitely a lot. I mean, I feel like for myself, because look, maybe a couple of years back, I was probably posting on different platforms and trying to do different things on different platforms, and eventually it's kind of got to a point where I kind of realized that you're stretching yourself too thin, and I think what I had to kind of really do is kind of dial it back and think about what exactly is it that I want to do, because you can't do everything, unfortunately, right?
oh,
So what
1,000%.
exactly is that you want to do, and then try to dial it back out to that. And I think right now I've got a good balance. So yeah, Sometimes you just got to
Sorry,
take it back a bit.
I tried to kill a fly on my wall. I failed.
Just buzzing
Sorry.
around.
I just wanted to high five my house because, it's a great house. Thanks, house, for protecting me from the elements of the weather. We salute you. No, just high five. No, I tried killing a fly and failed. But yeah, 1000%. Like, stretching yourself too thin. Like, the one thing that I don't understand is, like, you can cross-post from Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, right? But it's like, yeah, but I still have these other freaking things I gotta cross-post from. That also doesn't mean that you can't merge all of your, like, direct messages from those accounts.
Yeah.
And especially with Facebook, you have, like, that separate chat, like, message request area. So you don't even know, like, if someone is actually messaging you unless you click on the freaking messenger thing. And it's just like, oh my God, this is like a 4-year-old message. And I'm like, oh, so that's what happened to you. I'm so sorry. Should have got back to you. My bad.
Yeah.
Like, oh well, oops.
Yeah, I'm pretty bad with Facebook. I very rarely check that, so I don't even tell people I have it anymore. It's just like just there. But with cross posting though, what I've noticed. I mean, it's not like I'm some algorithm expert, but I feel it's probably pretty common knowledge. But if you post something, for example, on TikTok, and then you take that video and you post it on Instagram, it typically won't get pushed as much as if you just post it directly to Instagram. Same the other way round, and same with YouTube. They have ways of checking like things like the watermark or stuff like that. And if it's been posted, like if you post it on Instagram and then took that video and posted it on YouTube, same sort of thing. So you can cross post, but you typically have to upload that video, 3 different times to 3 different platforms and type and everything, and you can't, and it's you can't copy and paste. I suppose you could do that bit.
I mean, kind of. If you post it from your computer, you can. Yeah. If you're on your phone, you're out of luck.
Yeah, it's a bit. It can be done, but yeah, just a bit more awkward. And the fact that some platforms could take more words than other platforms, so you might have to cut things down, and then it's kind of a thing. It's just a long thing. So yeah.
Yeah,
it can be done, but bruh, it's yeah.
It's just really complicated, and I mean, if there was a way to simplify it all, that'd be great. But until then, it's like you could either stick to one platform or do a dance with multiple. And I'm like, well, I like checking multiple platforms because I definitely go on social media a little bit too much just to see things, but that's kind of like the cosplay thing of like, what's this person doing? What's this person doing? Is there anything new going on? What was that event like? And such. And then YouTube is just something of its own beast of like, what do I want to watch today? Did someone else upload?
Well, yeah. Lots of people uploading. There's so much stuff on YouTube. It's ridiculous. I mean, I like it. Don't get me wrong. I go on YouTube a lot, but there is a lot. It's just constant, just... Yeah.
Yeah, I feel so bad for Google. It's like, so how many servers do you have just to keep all that data like stored? I'm like, or is it a cloud? And then how do you like power that big of a cloud to handle like, what is it, like 100 billion hours being uploaded? I got it. No, I didn't. I don't think I got it this time. Shit.
That's right.
Anyways.
Card.
No. Yeah, but anyways, like I just feel bad for Google because like that's one of their biggest like platforms other than their search engine. So it's just like, what are you gonna do about that, buddy?
Yeah, just keeps growing bigger and bigger and bigger. Just more and more disk space and yeah.
Yeah, right. Like soon they're gonna need petabytes. Well, they probably already had petabytes somewhere. They're just like, yeah, we need someone to invent the next one after that, so we can store all this shit. I mean,
they'll probably buy the moon eventually and just store everything there.
Oh my goodness! Don't ruin the moon. The moon didn't do anything to humans.
People are gonna colonize the moon and use it as a storage base.
See, I'd be okay with that. I'd be okay if we like colonize the moon instead of Mars. Because like Mars, I'm just like, look, there's a lot of things that could go wrong with Mars. I got him this time. I'm sorry I murdered you. Not really, because that's why it's called murder. Okay, I need a hand sanitizer now. Okay. Hi!
So you mentioned OnlyFans a little while
Hello.
back. Yeah. So
Yes,
let's
about
go a
it.
little bit back for if you don't mind. Because yeah, OnlyFans is I mean, I guess they're a pretty big platform, but they blew up during the pandemic. Loads of people, going to start to set their profiles up and post pictures and videos and whatnot.
Hmm.
I mean, you mentioned you don't use it that much these days. Was you on it during the pandemic and then decided to leave it afterwards, or what was your OnlyFans journey like?
Oh, yeah, yeah. So I was asked a few times to do more like uh sexier content, and it's just like, why not? Why not? Like, you're like, why not? And then when the pandemic hit, I'm just like, you know what? I got nothing else better to do. Why not? Like, at this point, because there's no one's gonna come up to me during the pandemic and be like, "Wow, you're so sexy," out of like doing that shit. Actually, someone did do that, so that was really awkward. But that was a special case. But it was more like doing OnlyFans was kind of artistic for me in a sense, because I don't want to say like I don't feel comfortable in sexier outfits, like more risque cosplay. It was more, can I do this? Should I do this? And I know that I'm going to be pregnant one day. So I do want to look back on myself and be like, wow, I was a hot chick before you fucked my body up. So it was kind of like a homage to me. And if I wanted to like appease my fans a little bit, like, it's like, okay, just make like a quick buck here or there. And it's like, sure, that's great. Okay, yeah, that's cool. That's cool. But it wasn't like my main source of income of like, oh, I have to do this so I make money. So it was mainly just to fulfill my own needs of like artistic kind of like risque photos, and like, I guess pushing my own sense of boundaries in cosplay. But I don't really say like that's not for everyone to do. I don't really promote that kind of thing, because it's like, yeah, be artistic and do something that you want to do, but don't feel like you have to do it because everyone's doing it. And I wanted to do it because like now I'm a mom. I knew I was going to get pregnant, and if my body didn't look, which it doesn't look like really great after pregnancy, I'm just like, well, at least I have sexy photos of me in the past, and I won't be like, why didn't I do that? Like, I don't regret it. I mean, I've been on a TV show naked, so it's like, what else do you want?
And
I
which
think I
TV
answered
show
your
is that?
question right. Oh
No,
wait,
no,
did you not know that?
I'm,
Wait, do you or do you not know that one?
I didn't actually, but no, you
Oh
don't have
my
to
god,
say it.
really? We could talk about it.
If
Like, it's
only
so
if you want
funny.
to. I was literally just playing around. But
No,
you
so
don't have to
like
say
for
anything if you
real
don't want
though,
to.
not for play. Like, what was it? Okay, 7 years ago, I think today, um, was the last episode that I was on for that TV show called Dating Naked on VH1, and that's how Cameo found me, because I'm an ex-reality TV star,
Okay.
and so I went on the show as one of like the people to be dated, and they had like the main dater person. So like they had the main dater and they go on 3 dates, one with the other dating person, and then two random people. And I was like the second random person, so I'm like, fuck you. Okay, no, just kidding. So anyways, um yeah, my guy that I had to go on a date with, he wasn't a bad guy, but he's not a guy that's for me. And
So
I
that's not
learned
your
that
husband then.
very quickly on the show. And I'm just like, I felt so bad, because I'm just like, look, I know that I'm a cool chick for anyone, but you're not the cool guy for me. And it just didn't work out. But he's still doing his thing. He actually, like, the guy that I dated, he actually adopted a kid, and I was like, what? That's so cool. Good for you. But yeah, you're not Celeste material. So
So wait,
there's quite
were you both naked on the show then, or just you?
no. So we were all naked. So the two dater people were naked going on the dates. So when we actually went on the dates, we were naked. Like, we
Okay.
met naked and we did activities naked, and then we had dinner clothed, and then we met other people clothed, and then we all got naked. So
I mean,
that's a thing. And then when he had to choose who he liked on the show, we were all naked again.
Okay, I mean, I think I could understand the point, but then at the same time, it's like, I mean, I'm just thinking like, what happens if you're naked, he's naked, and he's just totally flaccid for the whole thing.
I mean, I would hope so because
You
I
know what I
don't
mean?
want to see it
Like,
hard either. Like, do you want to see
well,
like it's like wow,
well, that's
you're
the
so
thing.
hard? Is it it's like freaking Mount Rushmore or is like a tiny little geyser? What do you want? Like,
Is it
you don't
better
want
for
to
him?
see him.
Because if he's not aroused by seeing you naked, then it's like, oh shit. But if he's aroused, then it's kind of like he's embarrassed, you know.
Yeah,
So
on national television, like this is worldwide television now. Because like that's even more embarrassing. Like good thing for us as women, like, oh my god, yeah, you can't tell if we're horny or not. Like, yeah, thank God. But no, I don't want people to know that. Like if I am like sexually attracted to someone, I don't need like my barometer being all like
yeah.
like it's like bring no. Absolutely not. But if you want to watch it, they actually put the first like Dating Naked on Paramount Plus. So if you have a
Okay.
subscription to that,
Actually,
you
I
can
do.
see it.
Yeah,
Um,
I do.
someone actually did like a like where are they now stars of Dating Naked, and like I was supposed to do a video on it. I haven't done it just yet. So whoops. Um, like a react video, and I'm just like I want to react to it. I think that would be hilarious, but at the same time, I'm just like nervous to see what they
Mm,
say because I do post a lot about my personal life, but I don't have anything to hide. I think sharing and letting people know what I do might help someone, and
mm.
even if it's like just one person that it helps like make them have a better day, I think I did a great job. Yeah.
No, no, indeed. I think part of going through life is, you do what you think is best at the time, and we don't always get it right. Sometimes we date the wrong person, but hey, that just leads you to the right person, right? So,
I mean,
but
I
yeah,
didn't meet
it's
my husband naked, so there's that. Oh goodness, that was. But I just remember that day. I will take that with me to my grave. The day that I met my husband, but
so
that was
did
the day.
did your husband watch the show, see you on it, and be like, "That's my future wife"? Please
No,
tell me that happened.
absolutely not.
Please,
No,
oh,
no, it didn't happen like that at all. Like, do you want me to tell you guys how I met my husband? Feel free to leave a like and a comment down below and say yes, no, we don't.
how did you meet him?
Fine. But
Well, if you
okay,
don't mind
so
saying.
yeah, absolutely. I love telling stories. So, my bestie in Los Angeles at the time, when I lived there, we were at a Lolita fashion show for their TV show that they were doing on Mixed TV called The Doll Life, and they were doing like Lolita, which is like you look like a porcelain doll kind of thing. It's kind of a Japanese fashion based off of like old like Victorian styles, kind of like dolly clothing. Anyways, so we did that. We hung out, and then we're like, oh, let's go fucking do something. It's like, okay, let's go like play mini golf. We couldn't play mini golf because we got rained on. Weird, because that doesn't happen in Los Angeles. So instead, we were like, okay, let's go bowling. And so we went bowling. And then she's like, so how's life? What's going on? Like, how's it? How are things, Celeste? I'm like, oh, single, doing nothing, like fucking just being at work because that's all I'm doing. At the time, I was working on Call of Duty, so I didn't have a life. And she's like, oh, "You're single," and I was like, "Oh, yeah, yeah," because I didn't post that on Facebook. I kept my breakup under wraps. I didn't tell anyone this. And I told it to her, and then she's like started messaging her phone as soon as possible, and she's just like, I got a guy for you, just hold on, he's so cute. Do you like him? Do you like him? Yeah, maybe you guys can meet for coffee or something. He likes coffee. Do you like coffee? I'm like, I like bubble tea because I like sucking balls. You could tell him that too.
Well,
So
well,
she
yeah, he's going to be
she's
interested. Like that, that
no,
would do it. That can't lie. That would do it. You
so
hear
she's
that,
like, I'm
you
just
get in
gonna
the
say you
guy.
like
That's it.
drinking bubble tea. And so they were trying to set it up that we would meet, but because I was working on the video game during crunch time, that means that we don't have time to basically live outside of video gaming. Um, I'm like, if you don't meet me tonight, I'm not going to meet you until like Christmas, and that's not going to work. So he drives over to the bowling alley and meets me, and I was like, I don't fucking know if I want to meet this guy. I kind of want to be single for a little bit.
Mm.
I'm like, I just got out of a relationship. Like, I hope to God, I'm just gonna lay everything on the freaking table. I'm gonna just let him know exactly who I am, what I do. Like, I'm just gonna give him 100% raw Celeste. And then all of a sudden, he comes, like, we were sitting at a table, and then there was like a wall. So he comes around the wall, and I was like, oh my God. It's literally like this. I was like, okay, yeah, fucking waiting for this asshole. And then all of a sudden he comes in and it's like, oh, the light has been shown. I need that. I like you. But I'm still giving you 100% who I am. I like you though. You cute. And so that's how we met at a bowling alley. And he was very exhausted because he just got done taking apart a voice recording booth for the band he was in. And unfortunately, it was so well built that it really was difficult for him to take apart by himself. So he was very exhausted, and his thought in his head was like, just don't fall asleep. And I'm just like, just don't fall for this guy. And we ended up falling for each other at the end of the night. So
Yeah, you know what though? Like, I know. Well, I feel like a lot of people say like you got to be this way on a date, you could be that way on a date. But honestly, I feel like yeah, just be yourself. So I feel like when you're like in your teenage years, it's like it's whatever, right? But I
oh
think
yeah.
when you start to get a bit older, especially if you know that you just don't want your time being wasted, right?
Oh, that's
Then
where
yeah,
I'm
just
at.
be yourself because they're either gonna like you or they're not. And if they
Oh yeah.
don't, then at least you know there and then, and you can move on. Whereas you don't be pretending to be something, or let me
Oh,
not tell you about
exactly.
this, and
And you can
just
like read the red
yeah,
flags faster if they don't like something that you like. It's like, okay, well they
right.
don't like this, well fuck off. Okay,
Mm,
bye.
mm,
Because it's just really funny. I remember he's like, so what kind of movies do you like? I'm like, horror. Like I like horror movies, not like the bloody glutty slashy ones, but I like a good story of horror. Paranormal. Sure, let's go. Like my favorite series is the Saw series. Like they have a pretty good storyline. Like, and it's freaking horror. It gets you suspenseful, and it's like, oh my God, I don't fucking want that to happen to me. But it's like, well, at least it's a movie. And he was like, I remember him saying, like, later after we started dating, he's like, yeah, she told me she liked horror. And I was like, thank God it wasn't like something like rom-com or something. I'm like, oh God. I can watch romantic comedies, but I have to be in the mood. Like, I'm not going to willingly seek out a romantic comedy. Like, give me
mm.
a good horror movie over that any day.
There are
And
some good rom coms out there, but yeah, I think most days I'll probably choose a horror over a rom com. Yeah.
yeah, it's only because, like, horror has a very specific thing that it has to do. It has to scare you. And that's not easy because it's like nowadays, jump scares are predictable. Like, setting
Mm.
the atmosphere is somewhat predictable. So, a good horror, like the new It movies, like, those were freaking phenomenal.
Yeah, I
And I'm
like
just like, we
those.
have to see that. So he's like, okay, we'll go see it because I wanted to see it. So,
Have
but
you
like,
watched?
yeah, what?
Yeah. Have you watched the Scream movies?
Not recently. It's been a hot minute.
Yeah,
But
I
like,
watched those
those were
recently. Well, some I've several seen before, but I watched them all just again recently, so they're fresh in my mind at the moment.
oh,
That's all.
okay. Not fresh in mind. But like those were definitely cream of the crop in their time, because that would lead us to something like Happy Death Day or something not that, but like, that like, oh, I keep dying kind of thing, or like someone's killing us kind of thing. And it's like, oh my goodness. And it's not like the same like Michael Myers kind of thing or Freddy Krueger. Nothing wrong with them. They're classics and cult classics, but it's like you can only do that so many times. And then they made Freddy versus Jason. And it's like, why? Like now you're just pulling strings. Like you don't need to do this. And I think they're trying to make a new Hellraiser. And
Yeah, they are. Yeah,
I
it's been
I
confirmed.
watched Hellraiser and I was like, what is this? This is so not for me. Like I understand why people like this, but this is not my cup of tea.
Yeah, Hellraiser didn't do it for me, to be honest. I mean, I can't remember a whole lot from it at this point because when I watched it was a long time ago. But I do remember
Mm,
feeling like, eh, about it. Maybe I'll watch it again, see if my opinion's changed. But yeah,
I mean, prepare yourself
whatever.
for the next one coming out. But
Mm.
yeah, like I'm just trying to think of like any other kind of horror movies that like oh my god, okay, so like the Japanese and Korean horror movies are fucking
Okay, yeah, yeah.
crazy. I
Like
can't watch
Grudge,
those.
Ring, yeah.
Yeah, oh my god.
Uh,
So when I
the others I
actually
can't remember right
watched
now.
yeah, yeah. When I watched The Grudge, like before I had colored hair and everything, and I was like a teenager, I was like, I can't even look in a mirror anymore because I'm fucking scared that a hand's gonna pop out of my head. And so I'm just like, like horror movies stick with you. Like that's like such good storytelling that it like does things to you, not like
Mm.
chemically altering. But I'm just like, no other movie genre does that. Like, oh, an action movie? Like, are you going to be like, wow, I still have so much adrenaline from watching Fast and Furious. Wow, yeah.
I mean, you
No.
probably picked the worst example, but come on.
What?
I mean, actually, you know what? To be fair, I do like the Fast and Furious movies, but yeah, nobody's going to be amazed by them. They're
I
not
mean,
that
it's not
good.
going to stick with you, and you're not going to be like, wow, every time I see like an RX-7, I just feel like I have to do an ollie or something stupid. Like, wow, anytime I see a Korean guy, he has to be eating potato chips like that guy from Fast and Furious. Like, no. Like, like anyone who's like just trying to brush their hair like this, everyone's going to be like, oh, you're the girl from The Ring. So it's just like, see, that's iconic. It's like,
Well,
okay,
if you dyed your hair blonde and got
it
like a
has been
white
fun.
gown, you can do. Was it Saraya or I can't remember her name, but the girl from the Rain. You could totally cosplay that.
Her hair's not blonde.
Did I say blonde? Sorry, black. Sorry, my bad.
I forgot her
If you
name.
dye your hair
That's
black,
gonna
yeah.
bother the crap out
I
of
think
me.
it's like Saria. It begins with an S, I'm sure. But yeah,
Okay.
like black hair, because you only got the long hair. So dye it all black. Get a white
Yeah,
gown, dye it up a bit. You know?
it's Samara.
Samara. There you go. And that's probably relatively straightforward cosplay, I reckon.
It is straightforward. At the same time, like I like having my hair colored, but I do have a black wig, so I could definitely just be like, all right, bitches, you want to do quick and easy cosplay? Here you go.
Yeah.
That is transformation things.
Start crawling out the TV though.
I mean, that'd be kind of cool if you were able to make like a TV stand and then just have like half the TV and half of you out of it. Like elevating your
Oh,
cosplay next
that
level.
yeah. Oh, that could totally
Also,
be done. Cardboard, big cardboard.
oh yes, yes. So
That
all
could
you
be
have to do
done.
is get a Philips TV box, get the TV part, and just cut that part out,
Yeah.
and then like have like a little brown stand underneath you of another cardboard box, and then just have the white shirt kind of thing and your hair.
Yeah,
Just
maybe paint
spit
around
out
the
some
edges,
water
make it
every
look a
once in a
TV.
while.
There you go. Going from straightforward cosplay to now we're kind of complicated. So that's
We
right.
didn't complicate anything. Speaking of complicated, you were supposed to be your Nick Fury again.
Oh yeah. You know what? I
Yeah.
bet. Yeah, I should start looking into that. I actually did look for my eye patch. I couldn't find my eye patch. So I'm
Oh,
probably have to buy another eye patch.
that's not difficult.
But
You can
yeah, I
find.
think you can get eye patches pretty easily though. I don't have that long coat either, so I have to kind of guess look into that. But the next Comic Con is what next month actually, isn't it? Is it next
It
month?
is coming up. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, bro, I should probably get on that.
Surprise! You should go. You should try going and just seeing what
I
it's
do want
like.
to go. I haven't been to Comic Con for a long time, even like before pandemic. Like I think the last time I went was I can't remember which year, but it was a good maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago.
Mm.
But yeah, it's been a while, so I definitely do want to go again. I haven't bought the ticket though, so I should probably do that. I should
Oh
probably
yeah,
do that.
that's a
Get a
thing. You
ticket.
gotta buy tickets.
Yeah, I should
They
probably
do
do that
sell out. That should do sell out.
and figure out some kind of cosplay that I can do last minute.
I mean, there's plenty of cosplays you can do. I just said, the Samara thing. You could just get a black
Do I have
wig.
a white gown? I think I'll probably get a white gown. Yeah,
You can find
I
one.
can think I get a white gown. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be fine. And just bring it back old school. Just be like, yo, and spit out your water a little bit.
Oh, and I do have a long black wig as well.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I do
From
have a
your
long,
sketch
yeah,
channel, you had so many
yeah.
of those.
So I just need a white gown, and just maybe walk around barefoot, and I'm good. I got
Oh
Samara.
dear. That'd be hilarious. Do it. Do
All right,
it.
cool. We're doing that.
We're ready.
Next Comic Con.
Make sure you subscribe to his YouTube channel to see the video of him in action.
I don't know about the TV box though. That might have to wait till next year. But I think I can just do the Samara bit.
Yeah, just like go. Like you don't have to go full out. Like some people do a really easy cosplay of like no face, where they would just wear all black and then paint their face white with purple marks. Do you watch the movies?
That's isn't that how? No, the Studio
Spirited Away.
Spirited Away. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, because like that's a really fun one that people will know. Like if you just get a little bit of face paint and like purple makeup, and then ta-da, you done.
Yeah, black.
And then just wear black, and then ta-da, you're no face, and just hand out like little pieces of gold or something. No, you don't have to do that shit.
Keep the gold actually. If I had gold, I'd probably keep it. That might come in handy right now.
Yeah, oh my god, because there's a freaking crash in the crypto market.
Everything's gone up. I don't know about the crypto, but like the cost of living over here, and probably over in Denmark as well, I imagine, but a lot of things has gone up in price, so yeah.
Oh my god, yeah. Like right now, electricity price went up like 300% or something. So it's like, wow, that's a thing. Okay. Yeah. Well, thank you.
We're all going to be broke soon enough, so.
Yeah. And I'm just like, cool, that's not fun. All right, I guess I should have switched to solar faster. Wow! About that. I guess we'll just hook up something for Peach and Bowser to run like a hamster wheel, but
yeah,
dog.
I mean, you got like 2 dogs and a baby, so yeah. Just oh, doesn't like that suggestion.
Yes, they don't like that.
I don't like that suggestion. Is that okay? No, we're not going to put you on a wheel.
No, they don't like that. No. Oh, she's still going. That's enough, Peach. Bowsy too. No, that's enough. I have them in here so that they don't bother the daddy. But that's fine.
And I think that might be a good place to start winding down. But before we depart, Miss Celeste Orchid, or Mrs. Celeste Orchid, actually, put some respect.
Actually, it's Lady. If you remember last year, it's Lady Celeste Orchid.
My bad.
Because I have land in Scotland.
Lady Celeste Orchid.
Thank you.
Yeah, before we go, is there anything else you'd like to say? Any last words you'd like to depart on the watching and or listening audience?
Yes, guys, thank you so much for making it this far. If you want to check out my YouTube channel where I upload cosplays, life things like vlogs, videos of my child sneezing, check out youtube.com/ I think it's Marissa Floro. I think it's Celeste Orchid, one of the two.
Yeah, there'll be links in the description.
Okay, well, check the links in down below. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, what else? Discord with @Celeste Orchid. Discord, it's not the same. There's a number there. I don't know what it is, but I don't use it often. I do play video games. If you play League of Legends or Don't Starve Together, hit me up. Let's do that. And yeah, make sure to keep in touch, people. And remember to stay inspired and be creative.
Speaking of League of Legends, real quick, actually, did you watch Arcane?
I started. Oh my god, I did start watching Arcane. I'm like 4 episodes in.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay, I won't say now. I'll just.
No. I know the ending. So it's like, because I play the game, I know what happens.
Oh,
like,
so it's
sort of.
Okay,
so.
Cool. In that case, I've got something I want to ask you, but I'll ask after.
Just ask me, because I'll tell you. I'll tell you if I can answer it or not.
Oh no, it's not really about the show. It's more about a future episode of the podcast.
Yeah, okay, well then a future podcast will do nothing but League.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. I love League.
All right then. So I'm going to say my goodbyes, and then I'm going to ask you a question. Okay.
All right.
Not
the podcast. Take that, bitches.
Peace.